Would you like me to sort your delivery?
You are generous as you are divine, oh booty queens and booty queens.
I don't give a damn what you're entitled to. So if you don't like it, you can take back your food and your castle and right off.
You should treat books with more respect.
Welcome to Mystery Pony Fiction, hosted by the Mystery Fluttershy fan.
A Terrible Crime by Bendy. Bound in chains with a black leather strap covering your mouth, you were dragged by two buff Royal Guard ponies into the throne room of Canterlot Castle. The strap was the only piece of clothing that you wore. The ponies wanted to humiliate you by putting you on trial while naked. The two guards trotted through the gathered crowd of ponies. Many a pony within the crowd openly mocked you for how small your reproductive organ was. Once they reached the outer end of the room where Princess Celestia was sitting on her massive golden throne, they unceremoniously threw you upon the floor before her. You uttered a cry in pain as you hit the hard marble floor. The ponies from behind you laughed and jeered at you, mocking you as you lay in pain before Celestia. You lay there on the floor of the throne room, groaning and moaning and pain from the hard impact. In your mind, your thought was this wasn't really a trial, but a show trial to mock you. It seemed ponies wanted to have fun with you before they sentenced you to your fate. You lay there on the floor, crying in pain. With your hands, you held onto your chest in the fetal position as you lay there in agony. You would have stayed there if you did not hear the heavy sound of clopping hooves approaching. Get onto your feet, pathetic human, or I will kill you on the spot, right here and now, in front of every pony. Celestia spoke, her voice laced with malice. You uttered a muffled whimper of fear. With a painful groan, you forced yourself up onto your 2 feet. Tears were streaming down your face. A flurry of emotions ran through you as you beheld the grace of Princess Celestia standing over you, a few feet over your puny human form. You could not believe that you once found yourself attracted to her. Any and all feelings you had for her were banished. Yet in the back of your mind, the small candle of hope burned in a dark and gloomy cave. You hoped the ponies were corrupted somehow by some great evil, and that Twilight and her friends would come in here any minute now and blast everyone with the elements of harmony, and then everything will be okay again. And if you saw Rainbow Dash again, you would see her crying her eyes out over what she had done to you. If that were to happen, you would gladly kiss her and come inside her, for she would be the real Rainbow Dash, not this twisted abomination that shares her fate. You looked to the entrance of the golden door to the throne room from behind you. You prayed that Twilight and her friends would come. Please, help me, someone, you pleaded quietly to the universe, hoping someone would hear you in your time of need. You nearly jumped out of your skeleton when Celestia shouted at you, "Look at me, puny human!" You could only mumble in fear as you stood before the cruel tyrant of the sun. "Now then, let us begin," she said softly in an angelic voice. "Last month you were visited by Princess Rainbow Dash. She came into your humble home. Once inside, she showed you her magnificent backside and asked you to come inside her. And you, in your infinite wisdom, had the audacity to reject royalty. This was followed by Rainbow Dash storming out of your home in a rage. You were then soon arrested by her guards and held in jail for the last month." Celestia flashed her horn and removed the strap covering your mouth. "Speak now, human." What do you want me to say? Why? Was I supposed to just let myself get raped by her? She stormed into my home and shoved her ass in my face and demanded sex. Literally demanded it. Everyone in the room gasped in horror and jeered at you, and Celestia growled angrily as she raised her 2 front legs high into the air, before she slammed her heavy, powerful hooves down upon the marble floor with a loud bang, leaving behind a deep crack in the floor. "Speak like that to me again, human, and I'll crush your skull like a pancake." In response, you could only mumble in fear, your whole body shaking erratically. Fresh tears came to fall down your cheeks. You felt truly insignificant before the mighty Alicorn goddess of the sun. You are a human being. Your place is to serve ponies, your masters. In the grand scheme of things, your species is insignificant before the glory of ponies. You are mortal. You wither and die. We are eternal, the pinnacle of evolution and existence. You stand before me as nothing but a clump of cells destined to become dust in the wind beneath the might of immortal pony hooves. You're a speciesist? You don't value my well-being, my feelings, or anything. I'm just a tool for you to use. As you said, I'm nothing but a clump of cells destined to become dust in the wind. Why should I continue to exchange words with a vile, xenophobic asshole like you? She simply laughed at you, waving her right front hoof nonchalantly. Choose your next words carefully, human, for I can wipe out your entire species in a blink of an eye. She hummed thoughtfully. Perhaps I will, but not in the conventional sense. No, I want to see the light leave your eyes as me and my little ponies convert you into your betters. I want to see the new pony versions of you smile at me and thank me for ridding you of your vile human nature. You trembled in fear at her words. You can't be serious. You can't just commit genocide on my entire species for the crime of not coming inside Rainbow Dash? Don't you think that's a bit excessive? Do I have to remind you again that you are simply mortal, while ponies are immortal? What does that have to do with anything I said? You shouted, protesting, raising your arms in exasperation. Do you even care what I have to say? No, I don't care. You just need to know your place, puny human. And no, I don't see any other alternatives for your species. Your species are cheeky and rebellious. You do not conform to pony society. There is a sickness inside you that needs to be purified. You are, after all, nothing but warlike, polluting, savage apes that are slowly destroying themselves and their world. You are doomed regardless, even if we don't set hoof upon your world. So in a way, we will be doing you a favor. Someone will stop you. You can't do this. You can't destroy my entire species over what I've done. This isn't the real question. Ponies don't just go around murdering entire species for refusing to have sex with them. Again, human, your place is to serve ponies. Submit now, and I am willing to forgive you if you come inside Rainbow Dash. You hesitated for a moment, tears streaming down your face, before you dropped to your knees and kissed her right golden horseshoe-covered hoof. I will. I'll do it. Just spare my species, please. Don't murder them all over me. Celestia leaned over you and nuzzled you affectionately. Good. That wasn't so bad, human, was it? Run along now. Rainbow Dash is waiting for you. Yes, thank you, Princess Celestia, you said in a low voice, trembling. You stumbled onto your feet. You looked upon Celestia with a glare of hatred. She in turn gave you an angry glare. Before she pointed her hoof to the far side of the throne room, you turned to where her hoof had pointed, and your heart sank at the sight, for you saw Rainbow Dash looking at you with sultry eyes. She was a tall and mighty princess like that of Celestia, and was only a couple of inches shorter. Just like Celestia, she too possessed a substantially large backside. You gulped and reluctantly obeyed. You slowly made your way over to Rainbow Dash. You tried to hide the burning hatred you had for her. You forced yourself a smile upon your face when you came to stand before her. Hey there, dude. I'm glad we were able to reform you. Do you want to head upstairs with me and then come inside me? She said softly. Why, yes, Rainbow. I would be honored, you said in a low, shaky voice. Rainbow Dash made a sound like a dog's chew toy before she leaned over you and began to affectionately nuzzle your neck. You could only stand there trembling as you reluctantly allowed her to have her way with you. You imagined yourself pulling out a knife and stabbing her throat in front of everyone in an orgy of blood. But that was ultimately futile. Ponies could not be destroyed by conventional means. They were made of something grander than you. For you once saw Twilight take an anvil falling onto her head, and she shrugged it off as if it was nothing. Your fate was sealed. You could only hope a true Equestria you knew and loved would actually come and rescue you from your fate. But as of right now, You had to do your duty to save your species from extinction for the crime of not coming inside Rainbow Dash. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please consider joining my Patreon, patreon.com/TMFF, to get early access to audiobooks and to be able to request I do a reading of what you want, provided the author approves. Thank you to Artlist.io for providing the massive music and sound effect library that I have to work with. And most of all, thank you to the bronies who write the amazing stories that inspire me to make these. Fluttershy and Izzy are best ponies. I now have a Discord server where you can join in and chat with other fanfiction fans. If you enjoy what I do, you can donate to me on Ko-Fi, links in the description.